Holy crap! Professor from Tolarian Community College.
Buy singles.
Hey y'all, Tony here with the 8th Drop, and today we're going to be looking at a series that I don't think anybody has asked for since 2006.
It's Family Guy.
What commanders would the Family Guy cast play? I have asked this question about a couple other series before. The Boys, Smiling Friends. So if you want to see more videos like that, definitely like, subscribe, and check out those videos on my channel. But today I want to talk about the Griffins and their friends and the wacky commanders they would play and why they would play those wacky commanders. So come along for the ride, and let's start with Peter Griffin.
Stick around for the fun. There's the clicker. No one would blame you. Hi, Lois. It's a great morning, no matter how you slice it.
I don't know what this is, Peter, but we're 4 months behind on our mortgage.
Peter is the bumbling patriarch of the Griffin family who does not think through anything he does and just kind of like gets into wacky misadventures, causing mayhem and destruction for everyone around him. He's also a man-child who loves references and cartoons and stuff from the 80s. So I think a good commander for Peter might be SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob.
AKA Joe the Unifier, so we can play all of the Universes Beyond Legends. So for Peter's deck, of course, we'll have our commanders, SpongeBob SquarePants, because Peter would love this commander. It's just the wacky yellow sponge. I've seen him watch SpongeBob at least once or twice before. I'm pretty sure it's a reference in the show. But we'll also have cards he cares about, such as Optimus Prime, because he loves Transformers.
Optimus Prime? He's Jewish?
Creepshow, because he loves old media. And of course, Deadpool, because he's just as random as Peter.
This violence juxtaposed to music.
This deck will be a typical Joda the Unifier Legends deck where it's just play out a bunch of legends and trigger Joda to cascade into more legends. Very standard, but only playing Universes Beyond cards throughout.
Oh, yes. And what was that beginning, middle, and end part again?
I normally don't put Universes Beyond commanders for characters in this series, but I think I'll make an exception here for Peter because I cannot think of a better commander than SpongeBob SquarePants. Then we got Lois Griffin. So Lois is the guardian type character, the responsible character of the Griffin family.
All right, Peter, I'm going to kill Stewie. Dinner's in the oven. All you have to do is turn it to 350 at about 5:15.
She is the one who tries to keep Peter's shenanigans in check, but doesn't always work out.
What are you doing?
Lois, to show I'm in touch with what it's like to be African-American, I am going to go to the middle of the town square, get naked, and paint myself brown.
No, that's offensive. You can't pretend to be black.
So Lois's deck will be a Grand Arbiter Augustine IV, just a standard control deck with control deck finishers like Hullbreak Horror, and focusing on controlling the board with cards like Time Wipe, Farewell, and Force of Negation. Also having the alternative win condition approach of the Second Son, just in case Peter's antics get to be too much. But yeah, I think Lois works really well as a rules lawyer type. I think she likes structure, and Grand Arbiter Augustine IV works out real well for her.
Wait! Always do these stupid things! And why do you always announce them to me before you do them?
Meg Griffin. So this is the firstborn child of the Griffin family. Meg is often ostracized, often attacked for unfair reasons.
You wrote an article about me?
They wanted a story about a typical teenage girl.
Is it A Fistful of Back Knee, Tale of a Teenage Loser?
Yeah, they make the title.
And I don't like when they do that to Meg. I like the later seasons of Meg, so we're gonna think about this commander deck through that lens. During the later seasons, she's given much more of a character. She becomes like this weird bowling alley haunt who just likes to eat mustard packets and hang out with her best friend Bruce.
Hey, it's the Megalodon!
Bruce Almighty!
I think that's a much more interesting character than the girl who just gets farted on all day by her dad. That's not very funny to me. It was funny at first, but it's not funny anymore. So when it comes to Meg's deck, Luke key to everything, I also decided to make this kind of a CDH deck because I feel like Meg would play the weird format, which is CDH. So this deck is full of game changers, such as Jessica's Will, of course, Chrome Mox. I don't even know where she would have got the money for this, but a Lion's Eye Diamond, and of course, the One Ring. No CDH deck can be complete without it. But yeah, the big plan with Loot is just to get a bunch of permanent types onto the board, and then gain a bunch of card advantage, create a bunch of mana, and cast those spells way earlier than you should. it's a pretty solid deck, if I do say so myself. Teamer is a very good color combination for Meg. She is weird and angry, so Gruul works there, but she's also much smarter than Chris and, well, Peter, but I gave him Wooberg. I think this is a good color combination for her, and I think Loot works really well.
You're gonna die in there.
Next we got Chris Griffin, and Chris is the teenage boy of the Griffin family, so he gets into a lot of teenage boy type stuff. We're not gonna get in on that. I think you might be able to infer what I mean there.
His little habit of personal amusement is getting way out of hand. I mean, look at this.
What's that, some kind of board?
It's Chris's blanket.
While he's been portrayed as very dumb a lot of the time, he's also been portrayed as very dangerous and aggressive. So I think a Gruul commander works for him here.
You're very precious to me.
For Chris and his deck, Xenagos God of Rebels, we've got a lot of cool cards in here. We've got cards like Beast Whisperer for some card advantage, Giant Adaphage because, come on, Giant Appendage.
Oh my. Well, no wonder he's always slouching.
And of course, we can't forget Ilharg the Raised Boar. Just an absolute all-star. It's going to get all the big creatures that Chris wants to play out real good. Chris is simple, emotional, often acts on instinct, and I think a big, loud commander like Xenagos God of Rebels works really well here.
You're so talented in so many ways.
Like what?
Like, you just write down however you think you're talented and I'll sign it.
The youngest member of the family, we've got Stewie Griffin. So Stewie is a hyper-intelligent infant with an advanced vocabulary, a flair for the dramatic. Also in the early seasons, he was very big on trying to game end his mom. And that was like his whole character. And that was a pretty boring version of Stewie in my opinion. In later seasons, they gave him more varied goals and ambitions, making him more of a character. One constant that has stayed with Stewie throughout the entirety of the show is that he loves creating things and tinkering. So for Stewie, we've got our commander, Kilo, Apogee Mine, I think absolutely outstanding. Tinkering, messing with counters, creating an unstoppable board state. Let's run through some of the cards that are going to be in this deck because this is by far the best deck in this video. So we've got some cool planeswalkers like Elspeth, the Storm Slayer, so we can get extra counters on our creatures. Vronos is just perfect unconditional removal. We get cool creatures like Tekuthal, so we can double our proliferation. Of course, we got Urza and Vivi, just like the coolest cards. Run cards like Agatha Soul Cauldron, Astral Cornucopia, and Darksteel Reactor as a backup win condition. And my favorite card in the deck, Magistrate Scepter, so you can get infinite turns, kind of like being Stewie's time machine or something. I love this deck. Now for this, I didn't actually make this deck. Normally I make all the decks in these videos, but I could not build a better deck than saddadhouse. I found him on Moxfield. I really liked this deck, so shout out to saddadhouse. All the links will be in the description, but definitely go follow him on Moxfield, please.
Should I be the one writing about this?
I don't know.
I think it should be me.
And just do it. Stop talking about it, for God's sake.
Next we got Brian Griffin. Brian is the Griffin family dog who's also anthropomorphic, so he drinks and drives and shit. He drinks and he drives. Is that better? He also thinks of himself as a writer.
And his name will be Norm Hull, because he's just a normal guy. But not everybody will get that. That's just for the scholars 100 years from now.
So he has been constantly saying he's been writing a book and putting it off for years. I think he did actually finish one book, Faster Than the Speed of Love.
It's the story of a boy who has to rescue his father, who's a pilot that's been taken captive by a militant Islamic country.
That's the movie Iron Eagle.
What?
But that book was poorly received, and that is all Brian is known for. He thinks of himself as like an intellectual, but he's honestly like of average intelligence. He's pretty lame a lot of the time, and I think I want to lead into that with his commander, Joyer of the Gitu. Alright, so for Brian, of course, we got Joyer of the Gitu, because like I said, we just want to like suspend out a bunch of stuff, put it off in the aether. Maybe these things happen, maybe they don't. We'll put as many big things out there, just like Brian. And yeah, some of those big things are going to be Deep Sea Kraken, of course, the classic suspend card. Tali, once again, we can't get away from this dinosaur. It's super cool. Of course, everybody wants to run it if you can, and this is the kind of deck that runs a Tali. We run both Kozileks, of course, because why wouldn't you? And an Ulamog to boot. I just feel like Brian would watch Doctor Who, so of course we got some Doctor Who cards in here. We've got the Ninth Doctor And we've got the 10th Doctor. Finally, we cannot have a deck for the most pretentious character in Family Guy without the most pretentious character in Magic. That's Niv Mizzet powering that with his commander, Joyer of the Get To. Yeah, I think Joyer works really in putting off what could be done earlier and just...
You know, this actually reminds me of a quote by Milton.
Shut the fuck. Hey, you ever accidentally masturbate to young pictures of your mom?
Who the starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Then we have Glenn Quagmire. So this is Peter's friend and local sex pest throughout most of the early seasons of Family Guy.
How you girls doing on popcorn?
I'll take some.
Here you go.
This does change in later seasons, and that's what I'm going to focus on because I don't find it very interesting that Quagmire just wants to have intercourse with every woman he sees. It's not very cash money of him. In later parts of the series, he becomes hyper competitive, super snarky.
Hey, Jerome, can you clear out my booth? Looks like somebody left their trash here.
Jerome, can you tell that piece of shit asshole to f***ing get the hell out of here before I f***ing kick him in the face?
And very, very interested in cats. He becomes a cat lady in one episode and opens a cat cafe in another. So I think Arabo, War of the Worlds, is a perfect fit for Quagmire here. Like I said, cats are Glenn's whole thing, so this is cat tribal to the max. Running cat classes like Jazal Goldmane, Brymas, King Veraskos, rest in peace. Glenn would absolutely love Felidar Sovereign and its protection from dogs. And of course, we're going to protect our kitties, so we're running a Chroma's Will and Teferi's Protection. I think Arabo's the perfect fit for him. It's cat tribal through and through, and with cats, there's a double entendre there if you care about that sort of thing for Quagmire.
My God, this is more pussy than even I can handle.
Hey, Peter. Bill Swanson is the Griffin family friend who is a cop, which sucks, and is also paralyzed from the waist down, which is fine, but that's mostly the joke that is used there, is that he's paralyzed. That's it, and that part sucks.
Men, form up Crippletron!
So Joe Swanson gets done pretty dirty as a character throughout the series. He's angry, irrational a lot of the time, kind of racist, just like most cops.
You know, Quahog Estates is a very exclusive neighborhood.
I got an invitation to go to the mayor's house.
Uh-huh. So you're telling me if I ran these plates, they'd come back clean?
Absolutely.
Hold the attitude.
So I think the character I want to use for him as a commander is Aurelia, the war leader. Just a big brute. This is a relatively standard list. We want to get Aurelia on the board, throw some equipment on her, and get her swinging. So to that end, we have Arden, a intrepid archaeologist, to help get stuff onto Aurelia, Amy Rose to buff Aurelia even more, and Stoneforge Mystic to make sure we get the exact equipment we need when we need it. As far as those equipments go, we're running cool stuff like Excalibur, the Spear of Leonidas, and of course, the inescapable Colossus Hammer. Yeah, I can't think of any better color combination or commander for Joe. Boros is absolutely perfect for him.
I'm afraid I might. Wow, thanks, Spider-Man.
Everybody gets one.
All right, next we got Cleveland Brown. He is the token minority of the Family Guy series, and that is most of the joke with him.
I'm taking this Bible.
It's awful.
It's all fucking awful!
Until he gets his own show, The Cleveland Show, which was honestly better than a lot of people remember it being. There's not a lot to say about Cleveland. Like, he doesn't really have a character in Family Guy. So the most I can say for him is he keeps the peace between all of the friends a lot of the time. I think a commander like Teysa Karlov would work out pretty well for him here. I don't have a good reason for this. I just feel like it fits Cleveland pretty well. Into that end, we're going to give him the best Teysa Karlov commander we can give him. Call me out in the comments below if you think this is a cop-out. So we've got cool stuff to help with the sack synergy. We've got Athreos, of course. We also have token creators like Marionette Apprentice. And we have recursion pieces like Living Death.
I want to make this a night you'll never forget.
Oh my.
Right?
Our final character we're going to talk about today is Adam West, played by Adam West.
And with that, I hereby declare this hero cop open.
Whoa, sweet bot.
He was the mayor of Quahog, and he was not fit to be mayor, but he was fit to be my favorite character in Family Guy. That's why he took the 10th spot. He's really funny, really irreverent, never too inappropriate like a lot of the other Family Guy characters can get. He's just like that fine balance of being inappropriate, but still being like something I can show my mom. Mayor Adam West also just doesn't follow the rules most of the time, so I think a commander like Flubs the Fool would be perfect for him. So this is a Lands Matters kind of deck, but it's also Cheerios, so we're doing both. For the Lands Matter side of it, we've got Azusa, Lost But Seeking, Lotus Cobra, and Dryad of the Elysian Grove, just standard land stuff. For the Cheerios side of it, we got Crimson Kobolds, Memnite, Brookshank Kobolds, and the Kobolds of Carekeep. Lots of Kobolds. I feel like Mayor West would really like Kobolds. We also got this weird card, Gustras Scepter. We can use this to save some of the cards that Flubs would make us discard, which is pretty good here. Flubs thrives in chaos and rewarding for doing things you're not supposed to be doing or doing things in a weird way, and I think that fits Adam West to a T. Rest in peace, King.
Everybody gets a hen. Would you like some gravy? Sure, you'd like some gravy.
And there you have it. That's everyone in Family Guy worth talking about, what commander decks they would bring to the table. Let me know down below if you think they would play a different commander, or if you like my picks, or if not. Be sure to like and subscribe so we can do much more of these things. I very much enjoyed this series. I gotta come up with a name for it. Please leave me a name for this series down below, because I don't think I have a name for it yet. Also leave any other shows you want me to check out or anything else you want me to look at. I'm definitely thinking about doing Breaking Bad next, because I've been rewatching that and maybe The Sopranos, so let me know down below if you are interested in seeing those. But I'm Tony with the 8th Drop, and giggity.
What's the most memorable moment in the history of that show?
Well, I'd have to say